Hi guys, Paul here, and going to be doing part 2 on the map making series. And you can see I'm at a different park here. It's kind of a wooded area. It's actually a frisbee golf course. And so we're gonna do some legs on a little trip around here and then plot our way back here. So stick with me. I gotta kind of do this quickly because there's a storm coming and I really don't feel like being out in the storm, so we'll get moving along. So for the first leg, I'm going to head down the hill and then I'll decide where I'm going to go from there. So step one, we need a bearing. So to start with, I'm going to be heading for that tree. I'll zoom in here. Heading right down there. So get the compass level, and we want the needle in the doghouse. Get myself lined up here, and I'm at 20 degrees. So we're going to head on down. Just one additional note: always write your measurements down right away. Don't think that you're going to remember them, because you will forget. So we want distance and direction again. We're heading at 20 degrees and we'll have to record our paces. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to show up, but I'm going down a fairly good incline, and this is going to cause my paces to shorten, but don't worry about that, because again, we're looking at things on an averaging basis. So for this hill, we just count them anyway. Alright, so I've come as far on this part as I want, and I'm going to now switch directions. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to head over by that goalpost over there. So step one, I recorded my step count down to here. I'm going to take a bearing to my next point and record it, reset my step counter, and then continue. Alright, so here we're at 70. I have to record that. What I'm going to be doing, I'm not going to record each leg now for a little bit, but I'm going to go across the creek. I'll record that position, be going around the back and coming out somewhere down that way. Well guys, I'm actually not familiar with this area, and I thought there was a way across here, but there's not. So I made a note on my map, the distance and direction I traveled to this point, and I'm going to be changing course and going that way. So you can see that the creek follows me along here, so when I draw my map, I will want to make note of that. So I followed this creek down, and at this point I'm going to leave the creek, so I'll make a note on my map that I'm leaving the creek. I'm going to angle back in. So new bearing. So always mark your distance first, and then your new bearing. Alright guys, so I did choose picnic table as my end point, so I would have some place to set this up so you could see me do this. So we've got a set of distances and directions, and now we're going to translate this on a map and figure out how to get back to the vehicle before the rain comes. We want to indicate north. I don't really know where the vehicle is in relation to things. I'm just going to guess and hope that I can scale things. So we'll put it there, and we're just going to set up and do our distances and directions. So we started out at a direction of 20 degrees for 87 paces. So once again, we're going to spin our dial just like we were on our compass course. to 20 degrees. And we want our grid lines nice and up and down. Be as precise as possible. We're going to draw off a line. We'll extend that line with our straight edge. Okay, now I'm going to use a little bit tighter scale probably here just because of the distances. So I'm going to use the 4 scale. And just like last night, every 10 paces is going to be 1. So we went 87 paces. So I'm going to take this to 8.7. 8.7. Now I'm going to scale this size. It's going to be a little tougher to get it exact, but you get it as close as you can. So that's our first leg. Next leg was 300 degrees. So we get that set for 300 degrees. And make sure our verticals are vertical. Okay, that looks good. And we went for 70 paces. We need 7. So I'm just going to mark these. This is leg 1, leg 2. Next, we went 350 degrees. "24 paces. I'm just being careful to get things lined up. Okay. On our 4 scale, 24 paces would be 2.4. And then we went 18 degrees. What makes this harder is that I'm at that age where I can't see up close with my glasses on, so I gotta keep taking them off. Okay, so we get this set for 18 degrees. And again, important to be accurate here. Okay, and there we went 3.7. Some very short legs, but that is not unusual. A lot of times you're dodging around stuff. 4. Now we swing over to 134. So we had a change in direction of travel, which is always good when the map reflects your experience. Okay. This is like 5. We went 55. Get the right scale. And then we had water here. And the water, it kind of traveled on that side of us. So we'll make a note there. Next we go to 108. If you were doing this, for something other than just zipping around, you would clean up your lines. You're going to get the right scale. 3.6. Okay, again, what we want to do with the map is indicate that there's water that remained on our side there. So we keep drawing it in. Okay, next we went to 64. So again, we just dial the bezel to 64. Make sure that we're lined up. And that's going to be 40. So 4. Okay, and again, we continue with the indicating the direction of travel of the river, that it came up here. Okay. Next, we switched direction, so the stream kind of went around this way. We switched and went in at 164. And we went 3.4. We'll make a note that our table was there. You can always sketch in some features, and note that, there's parking lot here. Things like that. Okay, so, but the rain is coming and I want to get back here. So how do I get back there? And how far is it? What's my distance and direction? So what we're going to do is, from our known point now, we draw a line to our home base. Okay? And so we put our compass in direction of travel. Got those points lined up. We spin the bezel upwards. I'm trying to keep this where you can see it and where I can get a good read. Okay, so make sure that these are firmly in place. Okay, pretty comfortable with that. Okay, so we've got our direction now off of here, which indicates that we need to travel at, I gotta take my glasses off here. (225 degrees). And we can just leave that fixed on here now, because we're going to be using that as we walk back. And then we want to know how many paces. So we're going to use our scale, and we're just going to measure it directly. And we're going to be looking at approximately, in the area of 145-ish. Now, it's not going to be exact. There's a lot of error that we've introduced, but it's going to get us right in the ballpark. So certainly in an area we're going to go like, oh yeah, there it is, you can see it. So now let's see how this works out. We got our needle right in the doghouse. We look up and we see, well, there's the big hill. That's a good sign. And it would appear that we're going to be on the other side of those trees somewhere. Okay, so we tooled along and we've hit an obstacle. So what do? We're going to measure where we are on this map, and then we'll mark it out and then adjust our track and get a new bearing. Alright guys, so here's where we were. Came on our 57 paces and we hit a snag. So what I'm going to do is take a distance and a direction to an area that I think will give me a clear, run up the hill, and then I'm just going to reposition off of that. So this in essence just becomes another leg. So let's reposition. Okay, so I've taken a compass bearing. I'm going to go 342 degrees. So what I'm going to do is take my map. It's a lot harder to do with on a table. From my known point here, get myself situated. So that I can get an accurate line. All right. Okay. So, direction of travel is this way. So we're going to go this way some distance. Hopefully you can see this. We're going to go this way some distance, and we're going to take up a new line then back to our base. So let's go figure out the distance, we'll mark it, and get a new heading. I got my new spot. You can see it's going to take me up the hill. So we're going to mark down our distance, and we'll get our new bearing. We've got a new heading. In this case, we're going to be traveling at, hold on a second once, I spun this the wrong way. 112 or 212 degrees, and we've got about 90 paces. Now, because we're going to be going up the hill, those are going to be abbreviated paces. We had the same thing coming down, so there's distortion in the map, but it should all even out. So let's see where we end up. I just got done trucking up the hill from that way, and I'm at my 90 paces, and there's our starting point. So I'm a little off. You're always going to be a little off. In this case, I overshot my target a little bit. You might undershoot a little bit, but you're going to be right in the ballpark. Alright guys, so as you can see, this is a pretty effective way of tracking where you are heading in the bush, and it's a good tool to use and to know how to use. The next step in this will be for us to translate those paces into distance, and to do that you need to walk a known distance, preferably at least 100 feet, if not more, and then average your pace out, and that will allow us to translate that then into a map. This is not something that you go out and just do once and you're good. This is something you need to practice in a relatively safe environment like a park for a while. So do these runs until you're getting some consistent results, and once you're getting consistent results in a safe environment, then it's time to take that out into an unknown environment like the woods. So start with that first lesson, part 1, practice that until you're comfortable with it, and putting a couple of points on a map. Move to this lesson, practice it until you're comfortable with it, you're getting consistent results, and then we'll take it into the woods after that. So please keep tuning in, and if you have questions, please put them in the comments area and I will try to address them, and we'll just keep rolling. Thanks.